February in Florida, and snowbirds have a lot to pick from. Like Daytona Speed Weeks. The teams are all doing the hustle for next Sunday's 500. But today, the world's greatest stock car drivers strut their stuff in this all-star event. The Busch Clash next. The Busch Clash now. It is the first major event of Speed Weeks 96 at Daytona. The 18th annual Busch Clash. And the two greatest stars of 1995 will start dead last. Here's Mike Joy.
They drew for starting positions. Jeff Gordon drew first. How'd you get last, and can you get to the front?
Well, this is a lot of cars, and it's very competitive. You know, I guess it helps this guy being right there in front of me. He might make some pretty good holes, and then we're going to try to stick our nose in there and see if we can't get to the front. But it's very competitive, and it's going to be exciting, that's for sure.
How about it, Dale Earnhardt? 6 victories in the Clash. You love a challenge, and you're as far back as you can get to start this thing.
Well, it's definitely going to be a challenge. I don't know if you can do it twice in one day with this crowd. There's a lot of smart racers here, and it's real competitive. It's more competitive this year, I think, than it was last. So we'll just have to wait and see what Jeff can do in the first one, and I don't know what I can do in the second one.
Well, Earnhardt has a grenade under the hood. It's that 2-lap length motor that he used to win the pole for the 500 yesterday. Let's go topside to meet the starting field, the largest ever for the Busch Clash. Here's Ken Squire.
Here is the starting order for NASCAR's All-Star Classic, the 1996 Busch Clash. On the pole, car number 1 from Rockbridge, Baths, Virginia, Rick Mast. Drawing second from Corpus Christi, Texas, number 18, Bobby Labonte. In third position, car 17, 3-time Winston Cup champion, Darrell Waltrip. Starting fourth, car 4, 2-time and defending Daytona 500 winner, Sterling Marlin. In fifth, from Franklin, Wisconsin, number 16, Ted Musgrave. Starting sixth, in car 10 from Chesapeake, Virginia, Ricky Rudd. At 7th, number 25 from Fenton, Missouri, 2-time Clash winner Ken Schrader. Starting 8th, car 96 from Owensboro, Kentucky, David Green. In 9th, car 71, Wausau, Wisconsin native Dave Marcus. Drawing 10th, car 6 from Batesville, Arkansas, Mark Martin. Starting 11th, car number 5, the 84 Winston Cup champion, Texas, Terry Labonte. In 12th, number 88, the 1993 Daytona 500 champion, Dale Jarrett. 13th, number 94, the 85 and 87 Daytona 500 winner from Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill Elliott. Drawing 14th, car 8 from Calera, Alabama, Hutch Strickland. In 15th, car 37 from Indianapolis, Indiana, John Andretti. Starting 16th, the 7-time Winston Cup champion, car 3, 6-time winner of the Busch Clash, Dale Earnhardt. And finally, in 17th position, car number 24, the defending Winston Cup champion from Pittsboro, Indiana, Jeff Gordon. Ladies and gentlemen, your all-stars for the 1996 Busch Clash. All drivers to your cars.
CBS Sports presentation of the Busch Clash is sponsored by Busch Beer. Now
Of speed. What a beautiful day for a race. The temperature just about perfect. Not much of a breeze. 17 drivers at the ready for today's event. And let's meet one of the meeting luminaries, always when he comes to Daytona, standing by with Dick Berggren.
Well, after missing the show in 1994 and 1995, Darrell Waltrip is back for his 12th Busch Clash. Big field. Who do you like?
Who do I like? Man, I like anybody that'll help me. And that means you don't like anybody because there won't nobody help you in this race. They're a man for himself, and it's a tough race, but it's fun to be in. I'm glad to be out here today and be able to compete and have a shot at it.
This race has a reputation of being very wild. Is it as wild behind the wheel as its reputation would have it?
I've done it from the booth, and it'll scare you a lot worse up there than it does out here. It's not as bad out here as it looks like it is from up there, and all them people at home on television. The wheel marks do get to you, though. When it's over, it looks like you've been running Martinsville or Bristol or somewhere. You kind of get out and say, man, that was a lot closer than I thought it was.
It's a fun show to watch, Ken Squire.
Believe me, it is. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Daytona for our 18th annual Busch Clash, part of the 38th annual Speed Weeks here at Daytona. And as we get set for a go in this one with $330,000 at stake for just 20 laps, 50 miles to our colleague Ned Jarrett, let's talk about this event and how different it is from others.
Well, it is different from others. To get here, first of all, you have to win a pole. The previous year, in 1995, in this case, there were 15 Busch pole winners during the year. And then there's a spot for a wild card entry, and that is for a drawing for all of those who were the second fastest on the second round of qualifying, I should say, and that's Dave Marcus in this field. And then there's a spot reserved for the driver who won the most poles in the Busch Series of NASCAR last year, and for the second year in a row, that was David Green. The format is pretty simple, Ken. They go out there now, they run 10 laps hard as they can, and then they slow them down, put them under caution, and invert the field. And then they run 10 more laps for the big money.
Flat on the floor and full bore, just flat out all the way around this thing. And somebody that does that pretty well, the Missouri hotshot here, Kenny Wallace, has joined us in the booth for this Busch Clash this year. Strategy in this one?
Well, I don't think there's no strategy, Ken. You know, this deal reminds me of like a video game. I mean, on a video game, you don't care if you spin out, you don't care if you hit the wall. Well, you do care, but it's only 10 laps. You got to go. I mean, you're going for every hole there is. So it's the Busch Clash of 1996. It pays a lot of money. There's a lot of pride. So you just go, and if the car takes you there, you make the hole and you get it done.
And the two best guys from last year, top point men, both out back, Ned.
Boy, as luck would have it, they did draw that 16th and 17th position. I think we'll see those two drivers, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, try to come to the front of the pack. They want to see what their car will do, and they'll do whatever they need to do to try to get to the point. And as Kenny said, you know, there's no points in this race, so they just go out there and go flat out.
And the key is try, because those guys up front, they'll have another agenda.
Oh, they will. I mean, I'll tell you, you know, what they're going to do. I mean, this is a two-segment deal, so they're going to try to put themselves in position to win this thing. So, you know, it's a two-segment thing. So wherever you finish in the first one, you know you might get inverted to the next.
And if you're out front, you want to make those cars about 15 feet wide. Let's get the command to get this one cranked.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, our Grand Marshal, Richard Highfield. Gentlemen, start your engine.
Back for the start of the 18th annual Busch Clash after these messages. It's the prelude to the Great American Race next Sunday. Hope you're going to be with us here on CBS to enjoy the Daytona 500. 38th annual, noon next Sunday. Busch Clash today, and 17 cars at the ready. Let's take a look at the race analysis here.
Of course, it's 25 miles, his first 10-lap segment. Winner's purse is $25,000. That's worth going after. Record 17-car field.
And they'll all be going after it. The track itself, how about it, Kenny Wallace?
Yeah, you know, yesterday I qualified 11th for the Daytona 500, and it's a 2.5 mile, and it is asphalt. It's got a tri-oval down the front straightaway, and that gets a little tricky going down the front straightaway if you're 2-3 deep. The banking, of course, it's 31 degrees, and I'll tell you what, the many times around this, your head will start feeling like a bowling ball. It's really banked and put some G-forces in you. Through that tri-oval, that's 18 degrees of banking, and, of course, 60 degrees down the back straightaway.
That 6 degrees just about enough to let the water run off. That's not going to be needed today. Another lap, and they'll turn them loose out here. Let's take a look at some in-car cameras. Out back, you're riding with Jeff Gordon, dead last. He can go either inside or outside as they come across the line with car number 24, and there's Jeff, 24 years old, defending Winston Cup champion, first driver to make $4 million in the year. And the man in black is back on the pole for the Daytona 500 next Sunday for the first time in his career. Here's Bill Elliott's onboard camera.
Bill, of course, a two-time winner of the Daytona 500 and a past winner of the Busch Clash as well.
There's his bumper cam.
He'll give us a different view there. There's Bill resting comfortably inside, ready to go.
Good luck, Bill. David Green won 4 poles in the Busch Grand National Series to qualify for this Clash today. He's ready. Remember, Green will start 8th, and up in 3rd spot, inside of that 2nd row, old DW.
Darrell Waltrip, I mean, what a legend. This guy, he keeps coming back every year for more, and look at him. He got himself right up front for the Busch Clash, so he's always hungry, and he knows he's got to go for it.
He's hasn't been pleased with the speed of his Chevrolets here during the last few days of practice and qualifying, but he has himself a good spot here, and drafting plays such an important role here at the Daytona International Speedway, so he might be able to, he's a master at that, so he might be able to do okay here.
And there are the folks out back, and we're going to watch them move up through. Remember, inverted field. Next Sunday, Ford and Chevy in the front row for the 500. Gosh, that's going to be a barn burner. You're getting excited already, aren't you,
I'm pumped up. You know, qualifying 11th for the 125s, at least if it shows me to be in there. But right now, it's the Busch Clash. These guys are really pumped up.
Observers up in 3 and 4 saying it's just a bit gusty on that end of the 2.5-mile Daytona Speedway. Get ready. We're going to go racing at Daytona. 2 10-lap sprints, $330,000 in the hopper. 17 drivers ready to bring it on down. And they've all brought second cars. No points here. They're ready to tear them up if they need to. If you can get the bumper in, you can get the whole car through.
Yeah, you can't be conservative in this race. You can't wait. You don't have time to wait and see how the car is going to come in later, conserve your tires, and all those kind of things that you do in a 500-mile race. You just put the pedal to the metal and go at it. We're about to go at it.
Standing welcome ovation. And it looks like over 60,000, maybe more here today as the Clash rolls out. Earnhardt lays out back. Gordon immediately presses for the outside.
Yeah, I wonder if that's by design that Earnhardt's dropping that far back to try to get himself a
he's way off.
He's lost the ground.
Dale Earnhardt either missed a shift or something's going. It looks like he's up to speed now. You kind of thought he was playing a trick to get a run and draft him down the back straightaway.
But he wouldn't have backed up that far to do that.
No, I think something happened to the transmission. Maybe he missed a shift on the start.
Maybe just being nice. Wants to give those guys a chance.
Sure. Here's Gordon.
We know better than that.
Up on the 31-degree banking. East end of the Speedway. First time in that draft, about 190 miles per hour. And down they come to complete lap number 1. Up in front to the stripe. Mast comes across with Earnhardt. Or rather with Earnhardt now. Boy, he's still back about 30 car lengths as you watch Waltrip there in second spot. And a little smoke out of Andretti's car.
Yes, there is a good bit of smoke out of his car.
I tell you, he really looks loose right there. He's running Jeff Gordon up the track. That doesn't look good right now.
Sterling Marlin pressing on the inside. Number 4, Marlin going for second. Maybe trying to find a hole to go for the lead on Rick Mast in number 1.
I'll tell you who's surprising here right now is Dave Marcus at the right of your camera. That green and blue car. Dave is really strong right now.
It looks a great deal like Bobby Labonte's
3 wide here, Ken. Look at Gordon up on the outside, Andretti down on the inside. That Strickland was in the middle there momentarily. And here they are up in front, 3 wide. Ken Schrader in the middle.
Schrader tried to split him to make a move, and now he's left out to drive.
Earnhardt has reeled it back in. Andretti is on pit road. First corner in Andretti down to 16 on the field, working lap 3. High side, Gordon all the way up, and the Marbles making that move.
Oh, that's a gutsy move.
Musgrave down there. But Strickland's number 8 up on the inside of Jeff Gordon in the rear. Meanwhile, in front, there you see defending Daytona 500-mile champion, the man trying to be the first in history to win it 3 in a row in the 500. Out in front, Sterling Marlin.
I tell you who's really making a move right now is Dale Jarrett. He's also switching to third, but really surprising is Dave Marcus running a strong third, and that's an independent.
Let's go to Dick Bergman for more on Earnhardt.
Well, the crew is kind of wondering what's going on as well, Ken. They say the shifter was a little tight. He may have not been able to shift well on the start. He has also radioed back to the crew to say the car is flooding a little bit in the corners. Earnhardt not yet running as well as he should.
You see just in front of him in the 15th position, David Green out of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Jarrett has moved from 12th up to 2nd place. He's right on the back bumper now of Sterling Marlin, as we see a lot of action back in the pack.
And tough old Texas Terry Labonte makes his move. Ricky Rudd staying right with him. Gordon continuing to press and come through the field. Last lap, 188.4. Back to the stripe. And Gordon has meandered up through. Put him in 6th from 17. You see him pressing right in behind Terry Labonte in number 5. Down on the bottom of the racetrack, Jeff Gordon.
Rick Bass going past Terry Labonte up on the outside. Ken Schrader in the 25 car. Here's Gordon in the 24 coming on the inside of his teammate. 25 car, 24 car, and the 5 car all owned by Rick Hendrick Motorsports. John Andretti gets some repairs on his car and goes back out into the action, but he's already several laps down.
Midway in the first 25 miles. Here's Dick Berggren.
Taken a lengthy pit stop. He has gone a lap down. His problem, an oil leak in the engine compartment. He's back out again. It shouldn't be a problem for the rest of the race.
Jeff Gordon into 5th, putting a lap on Andretti. Marlin stays 1st. Jarrett in 2nd. Ricky Rudd 3rd. Terry Labonte in 4th. Gordon in 5th. And Andretti may be coming back in.
I tell you, these 3 guys up front are doing good, but what I'm looking at right now is the 5 car and the 24 car look like they're peeking to the outside. The bottom of the racetrack is their strong point, but I think Gordon and Labonte are surprising them up high in 1 and 2. Now they go to the bottom here trying to get something done in the trioval.
And getting it done is Labonte at number 5, just squeezes one on. Here comes Gordon.
Ricky Rudd in the 10 car, trying to hang on to the outside. He'll get a run off of this turn. Gordon pinched down a little bit there, depending on the draft that Rudd's able to pick up. Depends on who will get to turn 3 first. It looked like it might be Gordon.
Andretti penalized, too fast on pit road. Hits and goes back out again. Non-factor in this first segment.
Okay, these guys you're looking at right now, they're going to have to get in line because the front 3 are hooked up and moving away right now.
Schrader up on the outside. He was in the middle of that 3-wide sandwich. Back on lap number 2.
That completes the 7th lap. Just 3 more to go.
Sterling Marlin, 73 and 74. Richard Petty won the Daytona 500 back-to-back. 83 and 84. The great Cale Yarborough did it. Will Sterling Marlin be the first man in history to win the 500 2 years in a row? Be with us next Sunday to see. There you see the top 3. Marlin out in front. And Runt Pittman has given him the horses to stay in this lead. Last lap at 189.3.
And Kenny, you're right. Those front 3 are pulling away. Those guys started racing back there side by side. They've singled out a little bit now, but those 3 were able to get away.
That's right, Ned. You know, as a racer, you're sitting there, and Jeff Gordon didn't want to give up that 3rd place. He thought he could get past Ricky Rudd. Just a competitive nature in him. He did that for about a lap and a half, and the top 3 are gone, and we're at 2 to go now.
There's the interval between that first group and that second group. There you see Rudd and Gordon. And Gordon's been shook off from that battle for the lead with 2 to go. Schrader up to 6.
It's getting to be showtime here now up front if you got anything left.
Earnhardt out back. Boy, what a surprise that one is. Get more on that.
Yeah, but he'll start up front in the next race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got that little segment after these 10 laps, and you know the crew's going to fix it. So I think he's going to be really strong.
White flag. One to go on the first segment.
Well, you have two Fords behind that. No, you have a Ford in the middle of that pack up front. You have a Chevrolet and a Ford and a Chevrolet. Dale Jarrett's got to wonder, I got to get him help here.
Ned, we got a good mixture, don't we? I mean, we got the Fords and Chevys right up here. This is great for the fields.
Only one Pontiac started this race, and that was Rick Mast, who was up on the point. Pretty even between the others. Getting down for decision on the first 10 laps. Sterling Marlin out in front as you watch it live this afternoon here on CBS.
Sterling's going to win it. He had to make a pass in this short distance back to the start-finish line.
Maybe get Ned to call Dale home and get him in there.
I tell you, the last 3 years we look at this TV screen, it seems like that yellow car, Daytona's always up front, guys.
Oh, he's there.
He's so strong in the corners on the bottom of the racetrack.
Morgan McClure, number 4, crew chief Tony Glover, and the engine man, one of the best, Runt Pittman, has won the first segment, collects $25,000. CBS Sports coverage of the Busch Clash continues after this message and a word from your local station. Segment 1, take a look at the results. There you see who's hot. Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon in those top 5 spots. There's the midst of the field. Marcus up to 10th spot, and looking back at the end to see who's not in this race. Earnhardt in trouble. Elliott, Green, Waltrip, Musgrave there. Way out back, Bobby Labonte well off his feet.
Yeah, Bobby was really struggling. He started on the outside pole and just went backward. Didn't have a good qualifying effort yesterday for the Daytona 500.
Riding with Earnhardt on the pit road. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, the crew is really not sure of what is wrong with this race car. They know it's under the hood. They're going to pop the hood, and they're going to try a whole bunch of things. One of the things they're going to do is change ignition. There's a backup ignition system in these cars. They're going to change to the backup. They're also going to check the carburetor leakage on it. There's a possibility that they have a problem with the carburetor. They're not going to try to change the carburetor because they don't really have enough time. And, of course, they're going to put 4 fresh tires on it. But the engine is the key. Earnhardt has run this race 9 times. He's won it 6. He's going to be starting in the back this time, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick. And Sterling Marlin's pit. The leader is having his wheel nuts retorqued. They are raising the hood. Runt Pittman just handed a hose over. The pressurized water system is going to get a refresh and a refill, and some more tape is going on the grill. That will let less air through the radiator and direct more of it flowing up and over the car. It will make the car faster. It'll also make it run a little bit hotter. Everyone is taking on 4 tires at this end of pit road. A big chassis change on the right rear of Ricky Rudd's car, and the hood is up on Bobby Labonte. Ken Squire?
Well, watching Earnhardt's number 3 out there, looked like he was fiddling with the transmission a little. See, he's still...
Yeah, guys, one thing I noticed when I first went to the end shot there of him in the seat, the first thing I seen Dale doing, Ned, was jiggling the shifter, playing with the shifter boot. So that kind of leads me to believe maybe, you know, he didn't get it in gear or something. I don't know, pure speculation.
And maybe over-rev the engine.
Right.
The engine when he didn't get it in gear. I don't know.
Yeah, and if you over-rev the engine, you know, you might, you know, crack a valve or something in a rock race. But
valve springs, you can break those very easy in over-revving it.
Dale Earnhardt, who is on the pole for next Sunday's 500. Great run last week. We'll take a quick commercial break and then return here to the Daytona Busch Clash. Daytona International Speedway. More from there after these commercial messages. Pit road is clear. Last 2 cars out, Gordon and Earnhardt. Take a look at the halftime stats here, Ned.
Well, there were just 1 lead change as Sterling Marlin got to the front quick. Biggest move from 12th to 2nd was Dale Jarrett. Most lap led, of course, was Marlin.
And the other big move was Gordon out of the rear, pulling his way up through the field to finish in 4th. A couple of real good runs in that one. But now it's down to the big end of the payoff. Hey, we're tracking Earnhardt and Gordon for you. There is how it went in that first part. And as you see, the Earnhardt situation never got better from the outset. It's a little like Bodine. Remember, he made those repairs back in '93. He finished 13th, came back up through, and won the second segment and goes down as the winner of the race. And we're back inside a very relaxed six-time winner of this event in 9 previous races. His 10th start here. Here's Jeff Gordon. I wonder how much he's got to hold off at number 4 of Sterling Marlin and the Dale Jarrett car.
It's going to be interesting. They've made adjustments on the cars. In that first 10 laps, they learned some things, either a little too loose or a little too tight, whatever, and made those adjustments and ready to go again.
Here you see David Green. He has pulled to the back of the field. As I understand it, he's going to pull to the back of the field. Right now, it's not the case. Coming down by, pace cars have them in. As you look over the front of the field, getting ready on the start, what, in 1? Take 1, and then they're going to turn them loose.
We'll start first gear.
They're coming down for the start right now. And as they come to the stripe, you'll have Bill Elliott up front with Earnhardt. In row 2 is Waltrip and Green. Row 3, that's Rick Mast there, and Bobby Labonte as they scoot down into turn number 1.
Dale Jarrett makes it 3 wide into turn 1. Sterling Marlin trying to follow him. Run through there. Jarrett and Rudd almost get together. Boy, some tight racing. There's Rudd right in the middle.
Rudd making a quick move before things settle down. Goes right up the middle with Marlin on the bottom.
I'll tell you what, right there was some close racing. The boys were saying, let me get through this right now.
Yes, and get out of this lap.
Bill Elliott's bumper cam. Looking back at Dave Marcus. Coming around to complete lap number 1. Earnhardt scoots in front.
Earnhardt's problem is fixed.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever it was, didn't take long, did it?
Sure did not.
He did fix it.
Whoa! Dave Marcus and Sterling Marlin, both bumpers going through the trial there. 4 deep going into 1.
Wow. And still not giving it up.
Oh, Terry moves up the track, gets into
We've got Kenny Schrader's radio open. Here out there. Jarrett with that incredible move in that first lap. Puts himself up into second.
Well, he got up there pretty quick.
Yeah,
he got up there
did.
quick from the rear of the pack. That's reminiscent of a Dale Earnhardt type deal that we've seen Earnhardt do in the past.
And still boxed in. Gordon back 10th or 11th on the field. I'll tell you, with these 14-to-1 compression engines taking that 50 horsepower off, it really keeps them bundled up out there, Kenny.
You know what's different this year is you don't see the guys just moving and passing everybody like they're sitting still. I contribute that to the new motor rules. Man, look at Gordon working that steering wheel up high here. These cars are set up as neutral as you can get them, meaning that they're on the loose side. They're rearing wanting to come around just for this 10-lap segment. They go by Rick Mast to the left side there.
Yeah, they're hooked up in the draft there on the outside of it.
Earnhardt, Jarrett, Waltrip, Schrader, the front 4.
I tell you, Sterling Marlin's going to be tough, guys. He's up to 4th already. He's looking good.
Waltrip getting hung out on the inside.
And Jarrett trying to go for the lead.
Schrader, he had a good run. Watch what happens. They split
3 wide.
Earnhardt's loose, big time.
Schrader up on the outside. Marlin scooting through. Still 3 wide in the back straightaway with Terry Labonte down to the bottom.
What a race. This is unbelievable. Jarrett made one heck of a move. He had a good run going into turn 1. Now they're splitting Earnhardt.
Schrader still working that high side at number 25. Gordon right behind him. And still 3 wide all the way around this 2.5-mile track.
And while they're doing that, Jarrett and Marlin is pulling away.
Mark Martin pulls up on the inside behind Terry Labonte.
I tell you what, man, they're cruising for a bruising here. If they can get straightened out, it's going to be okay. But they're nervy right now in a race car.
Here's Mike Joy with a major prospect for next week.
A couple of interested parties. First, Jeff Bodine. Kenny Schrader went high, and you grabbed on to me to hang on.
My good buddies are putting on one hell of a race out there. I wish our QVC Ford was right in the middle of them, but we will be next year.
Ernie Irvin's had 3 top 5 finishes in the Clash. Ernie, can you believe what we're seeing here? 3 wide all the way around the racetrack.
You know, I see this every week. With the Busch Clash, it's all go for the gusto, and I tell you, it's a great thing to see.
Jeff, does Sterling still look like the fastest car?
He looks really fast, but don't count out that 88 car. That Ford Thunderbird looks really good up there right now. Earnhardt definitely fixed his problem, but he sure got snookered going into turn one. They were going every which way to miss him, and don't count him out yet either.
All right, Ernie, pick a horse. Can Earnhardt hold him off?
We don't have to worry about Earnhardt. He's back quite a ways. So Dale Jarrett right now looks awful strong. I have to bet on him.
Ken?
That was at the moment, but here comes number 25 as they try to break each other off in that back straightaway. That's a big move down there.
Hey, what a move, Ned, by Dale. I mean, he just run right down there and closed the door on him. Said, hit me in the rear.
Yeah, Marlin started to go by him on the inside, and he shut the door on him. That's what you got to do in this race.
That was a great move.
At 190 miles per hour, they're still willing to use up the fenders in the front, the back, anything to win this race. Look at Schrader, hang in there. Right now, Schrader, who had that terrible crash the last time we saw him when he was running at Talladega, is back in this thing and going to second.
And maybe trying to go for first. He's up on the high side.
Right now, you see Sterling on the inside. Sterling's bumming right now. He's saying, let me get in line. I'm going to be hung out to dry. See him trying to come up there and get inside there? Ford's not going to let him in. Saying, no way.
Trying to hold him out.
See Jeff Gordon, little flapper valve. That's an air release that's mandatory from NASCAR. It releases air if the car spins out.
Here comes Marlin back on the inside. That side-by-side racing will only help Dale Jarrett.
Earnhardt lying just behind Sterling Marlin.
Earnhardt's getting back in this thing.
But Jarrett has command for the moment.
Would you look at Earnhardt? Here he comes. He ran the high side, cooling his tires off, and making a run at him again. Unbelievable.
Wow, there was Jeff Gordon up on the outside, making it 3 wide once again.
3 rookies in this race. Andretti, Strickland, and the guy leading it, Jarrett.
And there's Earnhardt trying to help Schrader. And he does. Pushes him right up there, too, Jarrett. Earnhardt gets to 3rd. Pushes Marlin back to 4th.
Ford Chevy battle, 1st and 2nd.
2 laps to go. This time by.
Earnhardt closing in. Here comes Marlin. Here comes Gordon. 5 miles left.
Guys, this is going to be a shootout. I see this shaping up as a barn burner at the end.
Gordon dropping on the bottom of the racetrack. He seems to, now he goes back across the track. From the inside, back up to the outside. And here comes number 6. It's Mark Martin. Putting that pedal down hard. Closing up. No place to run coming off 2. Waddled in. Marlin on the outside, Earnhardt on the inside. Jarrett stays in front. Schrader's in 2nd.
And now Marlin's going to try that outside. They passed him on the outside. He said, let me give a go at that. He's up on the high side. He's going around Ken Schrader. Here comes Earnhardt down on the inside. Wow.
Earnhardt gets left out for a moment there.
I tell you, it's looking good for Dale Jarrett. White flag.
This is it.
Marlin dropped back a good bit, guys, and he has got back up there to 2nd place. He's got a long race car there.
Big-time racing at its best. The NASCAR Winston Cup and their all-star show. Into the final lap. Dale Jarrett out in front, the 93 Daytona champion. Sterling Marlin, Schrader, Labonte, Earnhardt all in here. Down the back straightaway for the final time.
Dale Jarrett's going to win this race, guys. He's strong. My God, look at him.
I like your attitude there, Kenny.
Well, I'll tell you what. He's come from the back to the front, both segments.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him. He's pulling away.
Yeah, he's got it now.
Robert Yates has done some homework over the winter.
They got some good engines in those cars.
A lot of ponies under that hood.
Here they come, down for the finish. On the 18th annual Busch Clash to the stripe. Dale Jarrett's done it. Only the 3rd win for Ford in the Busch Clash. Jarrett gives it to them as he did the 1993 Daytona 500. Wow, what a start to Speed Weeks 96 here on CBS. You know, we forgot to do, what's that? We forgot to let Ned call him home.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ned.
I was speechless.
Congratulations, Ned. That was great.
Thank you. You did a great job.
I'll tell you what, all the critics now, I mean, look at him. He silenced everybody. He won the race, and we were looking for those Chevrolets to win.
Hey, let's not forget Mike Joy down there with Dale Jarrett's teammate.
Well, one of the biggest smiles in the place belongs to Ernie Irvin, who put the other Robert Yates car on the outside pole for next Sunday. What'd you just learn?
I learned that I got an awful good car, good motor, You know, we did a lot of testing with that car too, so we're real excited about it. Dale did a great job. You know, got up there and you know, got towards the lead before Sterling did, and that's what paid the price.
Thanks, Ernie and Jeff Bodine. We'll see you guys in the Clash next year.
We'll return to Daytona International Speedway after these commercial messages.
Dale Jarrett's getting some congratulations here. I'm not sure if he's happy or if he knows just quite what's happened. Dale, the move you made in turn 3 to start off that second segment and go past about 6 cars in one shot, that was one for the books.
Well, yeah, you know, it kind of opened up for me, and everybody seemed to be wanting to follow Earnhardt there, and so I just decided to go to the inside, and I had some good help from the back, and, you know, just fortunate that things worked out. I had an awful good car. I mean, the engine was great, the chassis worked great, and just a tribute to these guys for getting this car ready.
You and Sterling Marlin both looked like you were riding a rocket.
Yeah, we sure, both of us had good cars, and, you know, I was afraid those Chevrolets were going to line up and come at me all at once, but they kept racing each other, and that helped me out a lot. So, you know, just, you know, it's great. New team, new sponsor, Ford Quality Care and Ford Credit. Just happy as I can be to win this. Glad to get in. Now I got to win a pole to get back in here next year.
You and Ernie look pretty tough for next Sunday.
Well, yeah, you know, this is 10-lap sprints with new tires on. You know, things can look good like that. We've got awful good race cars. You know, there's still the issue that those Chevrolet's back ends are wider than what they are on a stock car. So, you know, if we can get that remedied or get a little help here, then things will be great.
Well, we'll save that story for Thursday. Dale Jarrett in his first Clash appearance goes to victory lane. We go to Dick Berggren.
And Dale Earnhardt, maybe the troubles were today so that next Sunday in the Daytona 500, everything will go perfectly. What do you think?
Who knows? Well, I think we swapped engines to put the qualifier in there, and I think we heard it qualifying yesterday, and it never did run right the first part, and we changed ignitions around, and I reckon up in the lead draft it was a little better, but boy, it wouldn't help anything. It wouldn't do nothing. With somebody drafting, I was okay, but you know, I think we hurt the engine yesterday. But you know, that's racing. You know, it's the Busch Clash. Just go for it, and all us Chevrolets probably racing each other. Let that Ford going out front. So who knows?
What you learned today that can help you in next Sunday's Daytona 500?
I learned I don't want a sorry running motor. I want a good motor.
Dale Earnhardt.
Just tell it like it is.
Yeah, right. That sure sounds like Earnhardt. Everybody electrified by that exciting run, except that old pro, Zachary. He looked like he'd been there a lot of times. How old is Zachary now?
Zachary is about 15 months old.
Yeah. He knows all about this business.
Yeah, he's been in victory lane before with Dale up in the Busch race at Richmond, Virginia. A couple others.
Exciting time for the Jarrett family here at Daytona as Dale Jarrett again reigns over this great world center of speed. In the 18th annual Busch Clash, Dale Jarrett victorious, Sterling Marlin second. And with that sorry running motor, Dale Earnhardt finished third. What about that run by Schrader? What a good day for him. He looks like he's back in business. Looking further down the field here, Ned.
Well, Ricky Rudd came home in 6th place. Then Mark Martin. Mark didn't have a good qualifying run at all for the Daytona 500, but apparently his car drafts well. And see Dave Marcus hung in there and got 12th. And David Green, who didn't even draft Kenny.
Yeah, David Green. I mean, what a surprise. This car, like, it sat in the garage area for the last 3 days. He'd go out on the track, run by himself, and we kind of thought David was just having a car to be in the Busch Clash. And he was competitive. He drafted and finished 13th. He did good.
I wonder what Sterling Marlin thinks about all of this.
Years in a row, Ken Squire, for Sterling Marlin. You were in a lot of traffic today. What did it feel like out there?
Hey, we had a ball. I tell you, it was a good race, and you know, I'd like to thank Busch for doing this. This gives us a chance to kind of continue cars for the 500, but we had a ball. Just wish we'd done one better.
You look awful calm for a guy that's just been through that whole business out there at almost 190 miles an hour.
Well, it's another day at the office, I guess, but the car drove really good, run good, and the 500 car, we saved it, and it's a little better than this car, so we're just going to try to do our best and run good all week.
Well, I'm glad he's calm, Mike Joy.
Thanks, Dick. Todd Parrott heads up this winning crew, but Robert Yates puts the power under the hood, and he signs the checks. He's the team owner for both Dale and Ernie Irvin, and you got to be pretty happy looking at next week.
I certainly am. I mean, talk about me, I signed the checks, but the quality care people, Red Carpet Leasing, Ford Credit, we leased this car from the 28 team and put their colors on it, and here's this 19 car in Victory Lane. You know, Todd, all the guys. I mean, again, we're just Daytona.
Where'd all this newfound power come from?
Well, you know, I like to think when they make some rule changes, you know, that the guys that do it best, the 4 team, I mean, they're awesome, the 3 team and all these guys. Sometimes that gives you a little break on that, but, you know, we had ulcers from waiting all winter to find out how we stacked up. And, you know, but it's looking pretty good now. And we'll take this engine back. We don't know how long these things will live. We blew about 10 of them this winter, but so we still have a lot of things to worry about.
Well, it lived long enough today. Dick Berggren?
Well, Jeff Gordon had hoped for a better day than the day he had, but how about next Sunday at the Daytona 500?
Well, one thing that we did learn today, we got a great car. I mean, I had to do it all by myself the first time. I thought that black car was going to work with me a little bit, and I was very surprised. He hung back and did that. But, you know, we were at least going to give it a shot and try to go from the back to the front. And we got very close. And I said, well, you know, we're starting about 4 or 5 positions further forward on the second 10 laps. Maybe we'll have a shot. And I just didn't get the right moves, didn't come to me. And, you know, so we come up a little bit short. But one thing we're real happy with is the way the car's running.
Of course, at one point of the race, we had 3 Hendrick cars, one right behind the other. How do you orchestrate a thing like that?
Well, I thought with all 3 of us we could go to the front, but, you know, the 4 and the 3 car were just too strong. They were down there on the inside, and I thought we were just going to blow by them, but we weren't. And so I thought, you know, well, once we stopped moving, I said, well, I got to do something here. And they were all around me, and I passed Terry, and I think I messed us all up. So maybe, you know, next time we'll all stick together. And, you know, I mean, I like to work with my teammates. I knew I was running out of laps, and on this race, you know, you only want to win. Running second or third. We finished ninth. Ninth doesn't mean any different to me than second or third.
Now, all winter long, we have heard about the Fords, how they just couldn't run as fast as the Chevys, and yet a Ford won the race. Are you surprised at how well they went today?
Not at all. Not at all.
Jeff Gordon.
Well, there you have it from Jeff Gordon. Not surprised at all about these Fords. Hey, folks, Kenny Wallace and...
one of them Wallace boys.
Yeah, one of them Wallace boys.
That guy over there, old Ned Jarrett.
But listen, you had 17 cars out here. Now you're going to go to 43 next week. What do you think about next week?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, next week there's a lot more cars that we didn't see today. We seen guys that sat on the pole last year, and there's probably, you know, a good 30 cars, you know, in the garage areas right now. So these cars are tough. I'm excited. I start 6 in the one of the 125s, and you know, Rusty didn't make the Busch Clash this year, so there's still some people that nobody's seen, and it's going to be really, it's like today. I mean, we're going to have to see where everybody sorts out.
Ken, we heard a number of the drivers that were interviewed talk about that they learned some things for the Daytona 500, and they were not running the cars today that they'll run in the Daytona 500, none of them. But they can take things from these cars. The cars are very similar, but it's not the exact car.
So there they are, the men for the front row for the 1996 38th Annual Great American Race. Earnhardt and Irvin, North Carolina versus California. Chevy versus Ford. This is Earnhardt yesterday on his way to his first pole in the Daytona 500.
That car was performing just to perfection.
He's won 26 times at Daytona, but he's never won the 500. Will he stay star-crossed, or will he take it home? We'll see next Sunday, and we hope you're going to be with us to enjoy it after this great preview of the 1996 Winston Cup season, where Dale Jarrett's pulled it off and made it look easy as he just bombarded and blasted his way through the field in a couple of laps to take it all. For Ned Jarrett, Kenny Wallace, Mike Joy, Dick Berggren, Ken Squire, saying so long from Daytona Beach, where Dale Jarrett has won the 1996 Busch Clash. The 1996 Busch Clash has been a presentation of CBS Sports.